Peace, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. It is August the 2nd. We are already in the day 2 of this month of August. So, August the 2nd. August the 2nd, 1994 is when I joined the military. And here I am now, years later, after my retirement. I still remember August the 2nd because that's when I joined, raised my right hand, and left the home for good for a very long time. But it was an option that I had made for me because I knew I wanted something more. I knew I wanted something different. I just wanted to, I guess, be my own person. So I made the option to join the Army in 1994, August 2nd. Some of y'all, I don't know, probably wasn't old enough to make your own choices. Some of y'all was probably older than I am. Peace. Good morning. So yeah, today is really not going to be long. I really don't want it to be long. I just wanted to be open, honest, and transparent about take away the option. So for me, take away the option, it came from I had a conversation with my mother yesterday. It kind of got in trouble. I won't say I didn't get in trouble, but kind of just a little bit. So she was asking me about my health, how was everything, and she just dropped the load. You know, for those who know me, I would push, I would drive, I would dig, and sometimes leave myself alone because I'm pushing so much for everybody else, you know, outside of pushing for myself. And she was like, you know, I need you to take care of you. You know, those people are going to be around even when you're no longer around, but you need to take care of you. And I know it's not just me. I mean, I'm sure some of us do the same thing to where we put a lot of other things up front. But especially a person who's a creative, a person who's a giver, you know, sometimes we choose other people before we choose ourselves. It's not always a bad thing, but it can definitely be a not so good thing, you know, as well. So I just have to start choosing me just a little bit more, especially, you know, health wise and all this other stuff. So that's where this came from, you know, take the odd way. Because far too often we put too many options in front of us that we no longer choose what is best because we have so many options, or we choose other people or other things and we no longer remember the important things, you know, the people who care about you and things like that. But we're going to be talking about taking the option away. There are going to be some things that you're going to see that you're familiar with, but I want you to look at these things that you're going to see and ask yourself which option. Because there's a certain point of time in your life, especially as adults, to where we have to begin to take the option away. Just take it away. Because you either choose now or you choose later. But choosing later could be a lot more detrimental in that moment than it was when you should have made the choice to do it in that moment. Now, for me personally, I hate forgetting things. It will drive me. I will get upset if I forget something. So at times, I choose to do it in the moment because that's when it's fresh on my mind at the time. I know it's not just me, but I'm just the one that's going to be transparent and say it in the open. If I don't do it right then and there is a great chance that it either won't get done or I will just completely forget. So now let's have this honest conversation of taking away the option. So if you have ever found yourself in that moment, or you may possibly be in that moment right now, put take away the option in the chat, because today is our day to be transparent. Today is our day to be open and share this live with somebody else, especially when you know people are out there putting so many options before themselves that they don't, or they no longer, or they just don't choose them at all. So let's go ahead and jump 2 feet into this. I appreciate you for being here. I almost forgot how I started, but I appreciate you for being here. Like always, we will always start in gratitude. We will always start in peace, and we will always start by me saying thank you. And I appreciate you for being here, because you don't have to be here. You don't have to be here on Monday through Friday at 7:30 right here at your morning podcast of choice. Those that may be listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, I appreciate you. If you're listening on the podcast platform, again, I will always show gratitude and thank you. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can go to Shopify, you can go to iHeartRadio, you can go to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of those platforms. Just type in "consistency is currency," and you can re-listen to this one when you need it. When you know, I've given so much to everybody else that I no longer have enough for me. And then you can go back and listen to take away the option. And you be like, you know what? I got this. I'm going to take away that option. All right. You can go ahead and listen to other podcasts that you may have forgot as well. Because right now we're on episode 178. You can go back and listen to 177 on down. All right. So let's go ahead and jump. Like always, you're going to get definitions of the words. You're going to get the etymology and the origin. And you're going to get inversion for you to see it from a different perspective. So option, it says the definition of option is a thing that is or may be chosen. The freedom, power, or right to choose something. And the inversion on this is white over red. I can probably flip it both ways, but we're really going to just pay attention to the white over red. It says a thing that is or may be. It said a thing that is or may be and right to choose. Because an option is a choice that you've made. And I was watching something or listening to something this morning on my way in, and this guy said it's all your fault. And that was kind of deep to hear. And he said, I'm not victim shaming, but I just want you to see it in a different light. It is all your fault because you have the power to choose. You have the right to choose. Now, of course, we all know, and I don't take it and twist it and put your little raggedy 2 cents on it, because we're not asking you for your 2 cents. We just want you to see it from a realistic perspective. When you make the power to choose, then you had the option to choose different. You can't point the finger at something when you have fingers yourself, because you have failed to look at it from a personal perspective, but you always want to look at it from an outward approach. The right to choose. So you had the right to choose. It is the thing that is or may be. So the option, it says a thing that is or may be chosen, the freedom, power, or right to choose something. What is that something to you? What have that something been to you? Because you have a right to choose. But right now, you have the right to choose to take away the option. And the etymology, which is the origin of option, and I like this one because it can go so many ways. Because it said the etymology of option, the origin of option. Again, everything that you see, you can go back and research it yourself, or you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just doing what is afforded to me to do, which is to present your morning wisdom. So the etymology of option, it says the Latin optere. If I'm saying it wrong, cool. Go research it and tell me another date of how to properly say it. But the Latin of option, optere, is to desire, pray for, choose. That's the option. So If the origin of option is a desire, so what do you desire and where are your desires taking you? It said to pray for or to choose. It's the origin of option. You got some people who say, I'm going to pray for it, I'm going to pray on it, and I'm going to leave it alone. But you still got your raggedy fingertips on it because you said what you do, but what you've done is two different things. If your desires are not strong enough, you will not take away the option to begin the process on what you need to do and where you're about to go. If you're not built or have built yourself up to the point to where today is my day and I'm going to create the best me, I'm not asking you for what's the version of you. I'm asking for the you that you are. A lot of times you hear people say, I need you to give me the best version of you. I don't want a version of you. You shouldn't expect or have expectations of creating a version of you because that is a false reality. That is a false hope. That is a false prayer. That is a false desire. You either want it or you don't. You're either going to do it or you won't. You're either going to make it happen or you're not. We've created so much options, so many options that we have put so much stuff before our face that we don't know which one to choose. So therefore, we choose something that is lesser because that is easy for us to get. I want the low-hanging fruit. Now, give me the stuff at the top. Give me the thing at the top, the fruit at the top that I need to work for. Because I know when I get it, it's going to taste that much more sweeter because not everybody's nasty fingertips was on it. The low-hanging fruit is the stuff everybody touch. The low-hanging fruit is for the people that want the easy way out. Sometimes the easy way out was you choosing that easy option. And now those things and that wall that you hit, it was because it was so easy for you that you didn't want to work for it. You wanted the gift, but you didn't want the purpose. That stung a little bit. You wanted the gift, but you didn't want the purpose. I might have to do a whole segment on that. The gift or the purpose. Let me marinate on that one real quick. You didn't want the gift. You wanted the gift, but you didn't want the purpose. You want what somebody else had, but you didn't want to work on it for yourself. You want to put yourself in the limelight, but you don't want to work for you don't want to do what it takes for you to get there yourself. I'm going to leave that one alone. So let's go ahead and begin this process of taking this deep dive, and then we're going to drop 4 jewels on you. And then we're going to move on. Because today we're going to learn how to take away the option. Right? It's far too often we allow our options to become our agent of temptation. It becomes our agent of temptation so much that we are tempting or playing with something that probably shouldn't be played with. I'm going to say that again. Far too often, our options have become our agent of temptation. Because remember, it said option is a choice, just like temptation. You can put a fruit in your left hand and a candy bar in your right hand. Those are 2 options. That is an agent of temptation. So which one you feel will give you the best option of choice when it comes to your health, those healthy benefits? It is an agent of temptation, but the choice is still up to you. You're either going to get that candy bar or you're going to get the fruit. You're going to get the vegetable or you're going to get, I don't know, whatever. But also our options have begun to build walls of our habitual hesitations. You're always, now I understand wisdom. Don't get it twisted. Wisdom will allow you to look at things and make moves based uh on 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 the on the wise words and the ways and actions that you're going to do it. But a lot of times our options will build walls of our habitual hesitation. So we're always hesitating because fear has set in. That means you do it over and you've done it so much that you haven't even recognized that you've taken the wrong option. So 4 things. First one, we saw it this past day. Resolve or reason. And when you see the word or, that means that is an option. So you choose which option need to be taken away. You see resolve and you see or. You put into the chat, which one do you choose? Which option are you going to take away? Because to resolve something, that means that you have developed a solution to the actions that you're taking right now. Reason is the house for excuse. Within your reason, you begin to house your excuses because you got a reason for everything. That is your house for excuses. Reason also within the fabric of reason is are your shoulds. I should do this, I should do that, and it also houses maybes. Well, maybe another day. Well, maybe I'll do it at this time. And because you've chosen to do it at this time, that means you've built this house of reasons instead of opening the window of resolve. The opening of the window of resolve is the open to the process of the opportunities. Now, for me, I know it's like I'm speaking to myself as I openly and honestly speak and communicate with you. So I choose to resolve. I choose to build and to create solutions. So I have to take the option away and take action on those things that I know that I need to do. So now we're looking at faith over fear. What's your option here? Take the option away. I'm sure we've all heard this before. Faith over fear. But you have to take the option away. If you don't take the option away, you will remain fearful. You will remain afraid to do things. You will remain so hesitant to take the risk, but you have to take the option away because it could be so much weight and so heavy on you that you can't begin to even see the process of how you're going to start because you have been weighed down and pressured down with so much fear that faith is no longer within reach because you allowed the option of fear to become the option that you chose. That faith is no word of choice. Take the option away. And third is that you're either going to watch it happen. Now, on this one, it can be an inversion. And the reason why I say you can invert this whichever way that you choose, but you have to take that option away because sometimes your wisdom is going to allow you to understand that I need to watch this happen. I don't need to move right now because I want to see how this play out because my intuition is telling me that I need to allow to sit back and utilize my wisdom before I open my mouth and say something. So I need to watch this happen. And then your wisdom is going to tell you it's time to make it happen. It's time to get up. It's not time to sit down and lay down and look around like you don't know what the world is going on. But it's time for you to make that choice and take that option away and make it happen and be committed to it. Ensure that within your fabric of your commitment lies your discipline as well as your dedication. And make it happen. Sometime today is the best option that you can take. If today is the day, then tomorrow is no longer an option. If today is the day, Friday is no longer an option. If today is the day. Here it is, you made a New Year's resolution, and this is August. That means your mouth is bigger than your gift. So if you haven't done it yet, and here it is, August, take the option away and create it and make it happen. Re-gift your purpose. Put yourself in a position to develop a resolution and no longer continue to build houses of reasons. Because remember what lives in a house of reason. In that home of reason is maybe, is doubt, is should, is what if. All of those things fit in your house of reason. I mean, all of them living in there with their feet kicked up, watching TV, not getting anything done because you got a reason for everything. Excuse living there because you hate the reason. And the last thing that I want to drown. Hey, swim and drown. Physically, if you do nothing, you will physically drown. So that means you have to work on it. Physically, even psychologically, you have to work on it. You can't say, I want to be healed if you don't do things that create the process of healing. So you're either going to drown in your sorrows and drown in your tears, or begin to swim upstream and work on those things that you know that you need in order for you to begin the process of healing. You're going to drown in so many ideas that you're going to forget what you have originally thought about. Because remember what we talked about, that option is a temptation. But which do you choose to deal with? Which do you choose to marinate on? Which do you choose to create? Which one do you choose to apply yourself to? Because if you understand, if the applications of your faith are the things that you do, so therefore there must be something that you have to apply to. All right, I think I'm done. But take away the option and choose wisely. Or your option will choose something for you that you might not have been ready for. Taking away the option is a muscle group, something that you have to constantly and consistently work on. Utilizing your wisdom. There is wisdom in taking away the option, because remember, it is your choice and what is going to be removed. Your choice. That's wisdom. Still based on the foundation of what you know. That's why it's called knowledge base. That's that foundational things, the things that you know, that you need to do. And once you find out that thing that you know that you need to do, develop the resolve, develop the resolution, and stop building these houses of reason. All right. That's good. All right. So Man, I appreciate y'all for being here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Mr. R2, y'all be blessed. Drop in the comments your takeaways, things that resonated with you the most, because there are people that's going to watch it on the replay. But it's much better when it's live. I leave that alone. But y'all be blessed. Peace.